Hello students, today we discuss another very important chapter in human physiology. Already last we discussed about body fluids and their circulatory system, and now we discuss about human excretory system. Before that one, we study about what are the excretory products, how it eliminate in that animal's body, including human beings and all. So these animals, including ourselves, we are taking this food material in the form of carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, minerals, vitamins, or many different types of food materials and all. So after completion of metabolic activity, some amount of chemicals, some amount of products, it accumulates inside the body. What are that one? Either excessive ingestion or metabolic. How the accumulation of the body? Animals accumulate either excess ingestion or metabolism, it accumulates either in the form of ammonia, urea, uric acid, carbon dioxide, water, sodium, potassium, chlorine, phosphate, sulfate, etc. Such type of these one, it accumulate their animal's body. But some of these compulsory it eliminate from our body. Some of these they have to be eliminated. How it eliminated? It must be eliminated either totally or partially. These whatever accumulated, all are not at all useful, not at all beneficial. That's why they have to be eliminated from their body. They have eliminated from their animal's body. How they have eliminated? These eliminated either totally or partially. Partially they have to be eliminated. They have separate mechanism for elimination of these materials, whatever it accumulated after completion of metabolism or excessive intaking of ingestion and all. They have separate, they have the special mechanism for excretion, for elimination of these substances and elimination unnecessarily, unwantedly harmful substances which may lead to the toxic in their body. It must eliminate from their body. Elimination of harmful substances from their body we call as excretion. Special mechanism that is we call as excretion. Special mechanism is there, that is the excretion. The name of that organ system we call as excretory system and all. In this excretion, they identified a specific nitrogenous waste material. They identified and all. What are these one? Nitrogenous waste material. What are the major nitrogenous waste materials? That is majorly like ammonia, urea, uric acid. These are the three major nitrogenous waste material they found. Most of the animals, major nitrogenous waste materials are either ammonia, urea or uric acid. Any one it eliminate from their body and all. Suppose the animals, the process of excretion of ammonia, here the process of excretion of ammonia is called as ammonotelism. The process, why? Because ammonia is highly toxic chemical, highly toxic nitrogenous substance and all. This ammonotelism, the organisms which excrete, which eliminate from their body this ammonia, such type of animals we call as ammonotelic animals. The organisms which excrete ammonia, that is such type of animals we call as ammonotelic animals, ammonotelic organisms and all. This is ammonia is the highly highly toxic material, but it requires maximum amount of water. It requires maximum water required. So ammonia is highly toxic. That is very important. Which among the following nitrogenous substance is highly toxicity? That is, they have given option ammonia, urea, uric acid, all of them go like this one. You put the option is the ammonia. What type of animals excrete? What type of animals eliminate from their body this ammonia? The animals which lives into the water. Why? Because it requires excessive, maximum amount of water. Nothing but aquatic animals only it excrete or eliminate from their body in the form of ammonia as the chief nitrogenous waste material. These ammonotelic animals, examples like bony fishes. Two types of fishes are there. Chondrichthyes fishes, according to skeletal muscles, and all bony fishes. It lives both the fresh water as well as marine water, and these fishes, for elimination of this ammonia, it requires less amount of energy, but majorly it requires the gills surface as well as body surface. There is no role for elimination of ammonia related to one among the another important excretory organ in higher organisms, that is the kidneys and all. But it is in bony fishes as well as tadpole larva of this amphibian. In amphibian frog, tadpole larva also eliminate nitrogenous substance, that is the ammonia only, as well as aquatic insects like prawn, that is the aquatic insect. This is otherwise we call as aquatic insect. We call it as crustacean. It is one type of this one, arthropoda. In arthropoda, in aquatic arthropoda organisms like crustaceans, in crustacean like prawn also, it eliminate from their body in the form of ammonia. It is highly toxic. It is maximum soluble into the water. Whenever highly soluble into the water, maximum amount of water is required to eliminate from their body, and but there is no role for kidneys. What is the important role? Only gill surface as well as body surface. Through diffusion process, it eliminates their body, and that is related to ammonotelic organism. Then related to ureotelic organisms. The process of excretion of urea, that is we call as ureotelism. The name of the organism, the name of the animals which excrete in the form of urea as the chief excretory material, that is we call as ureotelic organism. This, for elimination of urea, it must be required less amount of water, less energy it required, and all. So normally here in this ureo, first, after completion of nitrogen, after completion of metabolic activity, first it forms into the ammonia. First forms into the ammonia in our body. This ammonia enter into the liver. In this liver, it converts into the urea through ornithine cycle. With the help of ornithine cycle, the ammonia converts into the urea in liver and all. Ammonia converts into urea in liver. The name of this cyclic process we call as ornithine cycle. Then it converts into the urea. The urea enter into the blood, then kidney, then it filter, then eliminate in the form of urine. In the kidney, it filtered and excrete in the form of the urine and all. Such type of organisms we call this ureotelic. So whatever harmful, whatever this first it forms ammonia only, then it enters into the liver converts into the urea, again it is sent to the blood to the kidney, then kidney it filter, after filter it eliminates from their body in the form of the urea and all. That is example of these ureotelic organisms. These ureotelic organisms, these ureotelic organisms are normally we discuss about these ureotelic organisms that is related to the one among the aquatic organisms like related to that chondrichthyes fishes or cartilage fishes. Chondrichthyes fishes are cartilage. All cartilage fish lives into the marine water only. All chondrichthyes fishes as well as earthworm in annelida organisms like earthworm in annelida. In earthworm also there is the ureotelic organism. Adult amphibian, adult frog. But in larval stage, that is very, very important. Larval stage it will be present, tadpole, it excretes ammonia. But in adult form, it excretes related to urea. Then related to mammals. Along with this one, all mammals, including human beings, it excretes in the form of urea in urine. It eliminates from their body and all. That is urea. But it requires less amount of water, less amount of energy it required and all. Then another very important uricotelic organism. What is the uricotelism? The organisms excrete the process of excretion of uric acid. That is we call as uricotelism. Whatever we said ammonotelism, similarly uricotelism. It is very least toxicity. Uric acid. That means it excretes in the form of uric acid. It is very least toxicity. Very, very least toxicity. But it requires high amount of energy. It requires high amount of energy. Very, very less amount of water. Very less amount of water. But ureo, moderate toxicity. Highly toxicity ammonia, moderate toxicity urea, but very low toxicity uric acid. The organisms which excrete from their body, such type of organism in the form of uric acid, we call as uricotelic organisms. But it is highly amount of energy is required, very less amount of water, sometimes without taking. In that very, very meager, that means it reduce, that means the maximum conservation of water. That means this adaptation, one type of adaptation for terrestrial organisms. The terrestrial organisms maximum, for example, lizards are there, birds are there. In desert area, less amount of water is available. But due to very, very less amount of water, by taking of food, whatever water is present inside the food, that water only to utilize. Then in the form of the pellets or in the form of the paste, it eliminates from their body and all. Due to pellets or paste, it eliminates. That's why maximum preserve or accumulation or less utilization of the water and all. That it will be conservation maximum amount of the water. But here, example, if you observe that uricotelic organism normally into the reptiles, in reptiles like lizard, wall lizard, chameleon, such type of these organisms, then birds, then insects. But majorly these organisms, it excrete the chief nitrogenous waste material, that is the uric acid and all. That is uricotelism, very important. What is the ammonotelism? The organisms excrete in the form of ammonia. So the process of excretion of ammonia we call as ammonotelism. The process of excretion of urea we call as ureotelism. The process of excretion of uric acid we call as uricotelism. In that one, highly toxic nitrogenous waste material, that is the ammonia. Very least toxicity that is nitrogenous waste material, that is we called as uric acid. Among this one, most of the terrestrial organisms, especially birds, reptiles, as well as insects, and it will be taken the conservation, maximum water conservation process under very least amount of water, maximum amount of energy they utilized in the form of pellets or pastes. It eliminates from their body and all. That is uricotylism. Here also it enter ammonia into that whatever liver. The liver converts into the uric acid that enter into the blood into the kidney will be filtered. After filtration, it eliminates from their body and all. It is also wherever the nitrogenous waste material first enter into the kidney, there it converted into the another simple toxic material and all. This simple toxic material enter into the blood enter into the kidney will be filtered. In that filtered one, it eliminates from their body and all. Then what are these the particular organs required for this elimination process and all? That means different types of organs it will be required. So what are the nitrogenous excretory? That means excretory organs. These excretory organs, it will be helpful for elimination either in the form of ammonia, urea, uric acid and all. The invertebrates, the simple tubular structures are present, whereas vertebrates, complex tubular structure like kidneys are present. In invertebrates, simple tubular structures like protonephridia related to invertebrates. If we observe simple tubular structures, that is the simple tubular structures, that is protonephridia. Protonephridia normally we call as flame cells. Protonephridia, that is the flame cells. Normally we observe into the platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes, like example, planaria and all. So in protonephridia, as the first that first excretory organ in animal kingdom, it begins in the platyhelminthes only. That is the flame cells. It is recorded as protonephridia. So normally protonephridia helpful related to ionic as well as the water aquatic. So ionic and aquatic balancing. Ionic balance as well as aquatic, that regulation. This is recorded as osmoregulation. This protonephridia, along with the platyhelminthes, it is also present in rotifers and some annelids. Then cephalochordate like Amphioxus. Cephalochordates normally it will be present solenocytes. These solenocytes. So protonephridia as an excretory organ is present in platyhelminthes, some annelidans, rotifers. Along with this one, it is present into the cephalochordates. It is present in solenocyte. It is also act as protonephridia. What is the important function of protonephridia and all? It acts as an important role for the balancing of the ionic as well as water balancing for osmolarity. It acts as an important role. That is the osmolarity and all. It acts as an important role for osmolarity. Osmolarity. That means ionic and aquatic balancing. Ionic and water regulation. It is not useful for elimination of nitrogenous waste material and all. Only ionic balance as well as water balance inside their body and all. That is recalled as osmolarity. It influence related to the protonephridia and all. Then along with this one, nephridia. So normally we observe into the earthworms. Earthworms, nephridia is present along with osmolarity, ionic as well as aquatic or water balancing, water regulation. It is also ready to excrete nitrogenous substances. Nephridia. along with the osmolarity, along with this one, it is also ready to excrete. Other than protonephridae remaining, along with osmolarity, it is also eliminate, it is also excrete nitrogenous waste material, nephridia, as the excretory organ. Then, apart from this one, some other organisms, some other nitrogenous, that means excretory organs, it is present related to the higher organisms, that complicatory or complex tubular structure it is present in higher organisms, that is related to the kidneys and all. Kidney in all higher animals, there is vertebrates, all vertebrates, it will be all vertebrates, it acts as it takes place as this one, the chief excretory organ in all vertebrates, that is the kidney only. It is the complex tubular structure, the simple tubular structure or invertebrates, but higher this vertebrate organism, the complex tubular structure, that is nothing but kidney. Kidney also acts as a very important role, osmolarity, as well as it excretes the nitrogenous substances. Then some of the aquatic organisms, aquatic insects like antennary glands or green glands. Green glands, it is normally we observe into the prawns and all as an excretory organ and all. It is also act as an important role for to excrete nitrogenous waste material. Then apart from this one, the coxal gland act as an important role for to eliminate the nitrogenous substances into the scorpion, spider and all. Then the major that is the excretory organ in all insect, Malpighian tubules. That is the Malpighian tubules. Then that is the insects. All insects, the Malpighian tubule is the excretory organ and all. Related to organ of Bojanus as well as our Keeper's organ. It will be present into the molluscan excretory organ of Bojanus or Keeper's gland. Keeper's organ of Bojanus or Keeper's gland or Keeper's organ, it will be present. Organ of Bojanus or Keeper's gland, it will be present in that molluscan organism. So these are among this one, which is the excretory organ in human body and all, that is the complicated tubular structure, nothing but kidney and all. So now we discuss the human excretory system and all. Human excretory system, it is present one pair of kidneys as well as one pair of ureters, only one urinary bladder and urethra. These parts are present and all. What is the color of kidneys and all? It is reddish brown. Where it located? It located in our dorsal region. In this particular part, it will be present. Dorsal region locates dorsal side, either vertebral column, either the sides of vertebral column exactly or no last thoracic vertebra. Normally in that vertebra, here normally we call it as cervical vertebra, then thoracic vertebra, then lumbar vertebra, then sacral vertebra, last coxal vertebra. This different segregation, it will be segregated in that one last thoracic to up to third lumbar vertebra it will be located. So it located last thoracic and the third lumbar vertebra. So in between last thoracic and third lumbar vertebral column in dorsal region, in this particular region it will be present under third lumbar and last thoracic. The one pair of the kidneys are present under. In this one pair of ureters are present, only one urinary bladder and continuation related to urethra under. But these kidneys, what is the length of the kidneys under? So the kidney length, it will be present 10 to 12 centimeters. Then what is the width of the kidneys? 5 to 7 centimeters. Then what is the thickness? 2 to 3 centimeters. 2 to 3 centimeters thickness are present under. 5 to 7 centimeter, that is related to width, are present. 10 to 12 centimeters, that is length, it will be present under. Then related to what is the weight of the kidneys, adult human being, the weight related to adults. Related to adults under, it will be present 120 to 170 grams. 120 to 170 grams weight is present. So generally, right kidney little bit lower than left kidney and all. Why? Because in the right side, the large organ or liver is present. That's why the right kidney little bit lower than left kidney and all. So right kidney lower than left kidney. Why? Because it will be present on large organ related to liver, it will be pushed. That's why right kidney little bit slightly lower. So what are the endocrine glands present on surface of the kidney? Adrenal gland. Adrenal glands present on surface of kidney. On surface of the kidney. That means over on the upper surface. Normally in upper side, one kidney, one adrenal gland, another kidney, another adrenal gland will be present under. So that is important. Which is the endocrine gland present on surface, on upper side of the kidneys under? There is nothing but adrenal gland. It is present. Each and every kidney, one adrenal gland is present. That's why one pair of adrenal glands are present. One adrenal gland, one kidney is present under. In that one, the outside capsule, outside of the kidney is present into the capsule. This capsule, over the capsule is the very tough one. It is very tough related to capsule, it is present. Over the capsule, that adipose, the fatty layer is present. It will be present adipose, that fatty layer. Adipose fatty layer or renal fascia, otherwise we call it as renal fascia. It is present for protection purpose. Even though outermost it is present, a tough membrane is present, over the tough membrane, adipose tissues, the type of the fat layer is present. Otherwise we call it as this one, renal fascia and all. That is outside. But inside the kidney, again it is segregated to the two zones and all. Inside the kidney, it will be present two zones. Then it is outer cortex, inner we call it as medulla. Outer cortex, inner medulla. Then now say what is the another name of kidneys and retroperitoneal organ. Another name of kidneys we call as retroperitoneal organ. Why it is called as retroperitoneal organ? Most of the organ in our body between outer membrane, that means what is present, outermost layer is present, then innermost it is present into the gut and between gut as well as outer layer, all the body organs are present. But in kidneys are present, outside the outer mesodermic layer is present. Why it is called as retroperitoneal? Suppose this is the gut layer and in this gut, it will be present. This is outermost. So this is the outer outer body surface, outer body surface layer and all. This is, it is we called as inner membrane. This is the outer mesodermal layer. This is we called as outer mesodermal. This is we called as gut and all. In this, normally here the body cavity, this is we called as body cavity. But actually the kidneys are present between outer mesoderm, it is inner mesoderm, outer mesoderm and outermost body surface. In between, here it is present and all. This is kidney. So very easily, immediate that one among these dorsal region, very near to the body surface it is present. That's why it is easy for operation, easy for kidney transplantation, easy for kidney graft and all. Why? Because it is present in this particular layer. That's why we call it as retroperitoneal organ. It is not present inside this one. It is present to the outer mesodermal as well as outermost body surface one. In between, it is present in the body cavity. That's why it's called as, no one organ is present except kidneys. That's why it's called as retroperitoneal organ. That's why it's called as retroperitoneal organ. Kidneys only, such type of characteristic features are present and done. In these kidneys, outer we called as convex structure, inner side we called as concave structure and all. In that concave, outer concave, one pair, just to listen one pair and all. This is one pair of the kidney and the outer, it will be present adrenal. It is we called as adrenal gland and all. This part we called as hilum. What we called as hilum or hilus. Hilum part we called as the notch part, concave. It is we called as concave. It is outermost we called as, this is the outer one among this one, capsular layer. Outer capsular layer and all. So towards the hilum under one pair of ureter it coming out. One pair of ureter it will be coming out. Then it opens into the triangular shape of the urinary bladder or trigone and all. But urinary bladder, it is covered with that is detrusor muscles. What is the name of that muscle? Detrusor muscles, triangle it will present. This is the urethra. In this one, inner, this is the inner sphincter, this is the external sphincter. One is the inner, another one is the external and all. But here, some of the blood vessels is coming out. What type of blood vessels? It is enter towards this one, enter towards the kidneys and all. Entering the kidneys we call as a renal artery. Renal artery from heart to the kidneys and all. That is renal artery enter. That is very important. Which blood vessels enter towards the kidney? Renal artery or renal vein? Renal artery. Renal artery, it will be entered. Then what type of arteries, what type of blood vessel it will be coming out. What type of blood vessels? It will be coming out from the kidneys and all. This is we called as a renal vein. This is the ureter. So both ureter and renal veins, it is coming out. It comes out from their kidneys and all. It comes out from their kidneys and all. This is the general structure of this one. If you observe each and every kidney, what is the internal? If you observe their internal structure, that means longitudinal section or vertical section of each and every kidney. If you observe internal structure of the kidney, the outermost, it will be present, the capsular part under. This is the hilum, that is we call it as hilum part under. Then it is the capsular, the outer capsular part, it will be present. From here, what are the blood vessels? which are entering inside this one, the blood vessel which enter. This is regarded as a renal artery. Which blood vessel coming out? Why? Because towards the hilum notch area only, it will be coming out and all. This is coming out, we call as a renal vein and all. From here only, it will be coming out one more. That is we call as ureter. That is what we call as, which coming out this one, ureter part, it coming out and all. The ureter part, it coming out. Both renal vein and ureter, each and every kidney, it will be coming out and all. But inside that particular kidney and all, there are two zones are present: outer cortex, inner medullary and all. That whatever inner medullary, there are medullary pyramids. Medullary pyramids are present. That is, it is here. This is outer cortex, inner medullary. So this is the cortex of the kidney. This is the medulla. This inner part we call as medulla. But the medullary region, there are renal pyramids are present and all. Here, some renal pyramids are present. Pyramids means triangular shape and all. These are renal pyramids. It will be present. Like this, renal pyramids. These we call as renal pyramid and all. In this renal pyramid, it will be the terminal part of renal pyramid. It is present some renal papilla. It is present in this terminal end. It is present into the renal papilla. What is the name of this black color? That is the renal papilla. Renal papilla, it is present and all. Then these renal pyramids, then each and every renal papilla, it will be forms into the calyx and all. It forms into the calyx. It forms calyx and all. It forms calyx. Or it will be get together. It will be forms and all. This is, so whatever that green color it represents, we call as calyx, or plurally we call as calyces and all. Plural word we call as calyces. This particular part we call as calyx, that all get together we call as calyces and all. Where it is introduced, where it is entering, all these calyx or calyces and all, this broader area, this is we call as the pelvis and all. What we call as? That is we call as pelvis and all. But these particular renal pyramids, whatever that cortex area, it entering between the renal pyramids and all. It entering between the pyramids. But here, it entering towards the renal pyramids and all. The name of the entering of that particular things and all. Here, it will be entering towards here, renal. It entering towards here and all. So, whatever it will be present towards this particular, towards the particular area, which among these one, the calyx and all, once again, this calyx, here, the majorly, it will be forms, the calyx, it will be forms here, the renal papillae, then calyx, it will be present. But these calyx, one and another calyx, it will be combined here. The calyx, it will be combined. Later it will be combining and all. Renal, calyces and all. Then whatever this particular entering of this one, that is the column of Bertini. So whatever middle of this particular parts, this is we called as column of Bertini. The particular part what we called as whatever leaving the pot, this is we called as column of Bertini. Whatever leaving part, the leaving part we called as column of Bertini. That means cortex inserted towards this particular area. This particular part we called as column of Bertini. But here the small calyces as well as broader. So 2 to 3 calyces to form into the one larger calyx and all. So nearly the 2 to 3 larger calyces, the 7 to 16 such type of the smaller and all. So this is suppose renal pyramid, renal papillae and calyx. The calyx open into the renal pelvis and all. The pelvis to the ureter, ureter to the urinary bladder to the urethra, like this one. But each and every kidney, what is the structural functional units are present? Averagely 1 million nephrons. 1 million nephrons are present. 1 million means that is the 10 lakh nephrons are present. These nephrons, otherwise we called as structural functional unit of these kidneys and it acts as an important role. Some of the nephrons, more than 80% of the nephrons is present towards the cortex region. That's why we call it as cortical nephrons. As well as some of the nephrons enter deeper layers of the medullary region. That's why such type of the nephrons we call it as juxtamedullary nephrons. Medullary nephrons. So which one act as the important role here? Juxtamedullary nephrons act as a crucial role for filtration, for highly concentration, whatever the blood, it ready to filtration. Then that is cortical nephrons maximum more than 80%. The remaining percentage, even though it acts as a crucial role for filtration purpose of this each and everything under. Already we said, once again you see the internal structure of the kidneys under, this is the outer cortex, this is the renal pyramid under, this is the renal papillae. Then this papillae it opens into that particular calyx under. So whatever this part we call as calyx. These calyx are present 1, 2, 3 like this one. Collectively we call as calyces and all. So renal pyramid, papillae, calyx, then renal pelvis. It opens like this one. Once again observe carefully. Renal pyramid, renal papillae, calyces, then pelvis. Then towards this one it is coming under. Okay? Remaining we will discuss in next class.